think I got it straight now. And now that I got your attention, right? I found myself back here again. All right. What you see on your screen is called a Venn diagram. Right. You have a red sphere and a gold sphere, right, or circle, and they overlap just a little bit, right? So they share something in common. Right? Now I'm calling one sphere, the red sphere, the community, right? The foundational Black Americans. We are B1. That means Black first, right? Now the culture, they Black first too, right? That's the culture. That's the hip hop alliance. That's what I'm calling that side, right? So you have one, the culture, which is the East, right? The Mecca, like the Bronx, the South Bronx, right? That's what KRS One called it, right? All right, cool. And then the Western side, you got Compton, right? Or the West Coast, right? Even though the FBA is more Texas, I think that's where. But he's out in L.A. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Now, everybody's acting like they got beef when we got beef with each other, like Tupac and Biggie, and that's one of the most classic beefs of because they both got murdered, right? Now, the hypocrisy is that yeah, we saying hip hop started on the East Coast, and in New York, right? Back in New York, right? Back in the 1970s. But in Philadelphia, we was doing graffiti back in the 60s. So where does hip hop truly begin? That's been always been the question. And then when you do get the books, right? Even if when you get the books, like Harris One wrote the book called The Gospel of Hip Hop, where he talks about H. Rap Brown and how they used to rap back down in New Orleans back, way back in the day, the 1940s and 50s, right? So he does give credit to the South having doing rapping and bussing and you know what I mean and all that, and I had to mention bussing because that's where it's like now people are crying over, because you hurt my feelings, sticks and stones broke my, you're bullying me or whatever, because that's always been part of the culture too, right? I'm not really into busting on people. Down south they call it janking, right? Like that's where my son's mother and her family's from. They Mobile, Alabama. They go down there and they janking all the time, right? It's that's what they call it there. I know Tariq Nasheed called it shooting the fives or something like that in Texas or something like that. But it's comedy. It's you got a big head, you got this and that, you know what I mean, or your breath stank or whatever, right? So, but when we doing it, and that's what they was doing on the Breakfast Club with between Charlemagne and his name will hit me in a second. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He went on their show and was they was busting on each other. He was calling Charlemagne gay, and Charlemagne was saying that he was broke. Dang, see now, madam, his name's slipping me right now. He's a cool dude. I don't have beef with him. What's his sister's name? Oh, jeez, I'm drawing a blank because I don't really put them as the top tier of like Jay-Z's not really the top. Like I'm gonna get to them, but I started off with KRS One and then Rakim, and like I started off with Rakim number one. But I don't want to lose track in all these beefs and that's what it's about. It's like, nah, it is about that, you know what I mean? But I was never one to, you know what I mean? Like I said, when we used to battle, it was you would say a Run DMC song or whatever like song was popular at that time. Here I am, RAW, a terrorist, here to bring trouble to phony MCs. I move all MCs, I just conquer and crush another rapper with ease. I'm at my apex and others are below. Nothing but a milliliter. I'm a kilo, second to none, making MCs run, so don't try to step to me, cause I ain't the one. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane, right? And if you knew the lyrics, right? If you messed up, like I messed up when I was rhyming, you lost. Like that's how we used to battle. It wasn't freestyle off the dome, you know what I mean? And I as I grew, it became harder because now I'm talking about integrating functions over intervals, subtracting negatives to get addition. If you listen, I'm spitting ill lyrics and hieroglyphics, like you know what I mean. Like if I freestyle off the top of the dome, if I write it down in a mathematical form that most of y'all not even aware of, right? It might take you your whole life would take you to decipher what I'm really trying to say. Like I'm just keeping it 100, and that's not bragging or boasting. It's just I've been studying mathematics since I was young, a baby, and I was fortunate enough to go to college and then this is when I started thinking about my teachers because two of my favorite teachers in life was Miss Paternoster at Northeast High School. You know what I mean? She's the one that showed me how to do proofs using geometry. Once I started learning how to do proofs, I started deriving my own theorems and definitions, and you know what I mean. I would take the axiom, and I was like, I'm kind of dope with this, and that's when she sent me to, or one of the teachers they sent me to the computer lab. Like go to the computer lab. When I went to the computer lab, they had a brand new Mac 2 computer. The teacher didn't know. I don't know what to do with it, right? And they had two little Macs, and they sent me in the room with two white girls. Right, and I hate to say white girls, but I sound kind of redundant saying non-black white girls, right? And I just know that they weren't blackety black, like they was white girls. They might have been Sicilian, which is kind of black or whatever, you know what I mean? Because the Moors invaded. We'll get into all that later on. But I'm trying to say is that they kind of set me up to walk along the path of. You know what I mean? So I found myself in this computer lab, and the girl, they don't know what they're doing, and they knew that I was teaching myself. I was teaching myself machine language because I had a 128 Commodore 128 at home. So I was teaching myself how to program beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code. So now I found myself taking a desktop publishing class using a Macintosh, and now I'm pretty much teaching these two white girls how to translate their art into a computer, right? Because they was like art students or whatever. I was the computer guy. So here I am, 16 years old, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm still hanging out, you know what I mean? My school is, predominantly white, but you know what I mean. So I had a lot of classes with the black kids, and I had, like they was trying to desegregate us, and I found myself in this one unique class. It's just me. I pretty much wrote down. I want what do you want to get? I want an A, and he gave me an A, right? But I was learning how to use a Mac, a Commodore, and program all by myself. Right? Because teachers were just learning how to do it themselves. They don't know what computer science is. Computer science was just starting off as a something that you do in high school. So the long story short is that's where that real hip hop began for me, because I'm on the bus and I hear bam, 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 in somebody's headphones, and I tap him on the shoulder like, who that? That's Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane, here I am, already W. So I'm learning the lyrics. And I'm learning how to program and beginners all-purpose and symbolic instruction code. I'm taking ones and zeros and I'm converting them into 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit strings in order to transform the artificial intelligence into ... that Morse code, right? Like I'm not no low-level young punk when it comes to GNX hip-hop, and I'm just sharing this with my son. So now it's share it with somebody else's children. I ain't got a problem with it, but it's like share it for free. Like I've been doing that, and that's not working out for me. That's why I'd be like, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. I ain't got a problem with it. But long story short is that this is basic mathematics when I'm talking about set theory and how this whole thing is the union. We're not at beef with each other. It's just that right now in the Hip Hop Alliance, you got, you got the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans and they hip hop too. They are part of the Hip Hop Alliance, but they brown people. They're not really black. That's what we talking about, right? That's where this mayor of Chicago is kind of a hypocritical because no, don't get it messed up. Common Sense, Common, he's from Chicago. He's one of our spiritual leaders when it comes to hip hop culture, right? Common was in fact, Common. I think Common is in one of Tariq Nasheed's movies, right? Because I only seen like 2 or 3 of his movies where he's talking about KRS One delivering all year, right? And then all year, KRS One comes out the door with it. This is not the first time I came to the planet. I've been here before, but only a few could understand it. I came as ISIS. My words they tried to band it. I came as Moses. They couldn't follow my commandments. I came as Solomon to a people that was lost. I came as Jesus, but then they nailed me to a cross. Like he's spitting these dope lyrics over, you know what I mean? It's called All Year, right? So when he gets to Harriet Tubman, I put the truth to Sojourner. Other times, I had to come as Nat Turner. And Common's over there explaining the lyrics. I don't even know if that might not have been Tariq's video that I'd seen that, come to think about it. But it was one of the, documentaries that they used to put together. And that's where that real hip hop is. But this is information they're not going to share with you. Just like Assata Shakur is the one Common that is the goddess. Well, we want to say our godmother. That Common wrote the dope song called Assata about with the chocolate water. Hold on, now I'm my bad. But Common's one of the goats, right? And I don't know. Me and Common might be younger than me. I don't know. I'm not even 100% sure. You know what I mean? We the same age. KRS One got us by a couple years, I think, or whatever. But long story short, we're all Generation X. That's the first foundation that I'm trying to help you all understand. 1960 is the beginning. 1979. That's Generation X. That's Gen X right there. That we're the leaders right now. Right? Trump is he's just the president. Whatever. Like he did it, right? Do what you do, Trump. He's not going to give any kind of acknowledgement to Assata Shakur. I don't know why y'all keep thinking. In fact, Barack Obama even don't give shout outs to Assata Shakur. That's what we trying to say. That's why Obama's he's not black. He's brown. Right? He should say that he's brown. Stop saying you black, dude. You're not black. Right? Black is different. Black is Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. You're not down with both of them like that. You'll say some Martin Luther King, but when they put Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and you in the middle, that was very disrespectful to the culture. Because you're not on that level, yo. I'm just keeping it 100. You was a speck in 1960. Right? He was a sperm going to the egg, right? If y'all want to talk about the birds and the bees, that's what Barack Obama was when Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was doing that real work. So don't give me that he's a baby boomer. That's whack, yo. Right? You disrespecting the real culture, the hip hop culture. And the same true with Brandon Johnson, because I'm talking about Common, and like I said, the last one, he really don't even talk about Common like that. Like that's how you know he ain't really down with the culture either. He's our young boy, right? He's the same age. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? 50, whatever. I don't know how old he is, but he's a young dumb punk. And that's why he be coming out his mouth sounding real stupid. In fact, that's the video that I'm sharing right now. Let me go right into it. My bad, I rap too much. Because I gotta get back to the game, and I'll talk more about this set theory, and we'll get through the real knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Y'all gotta pay attention more, because it is frustrating to be like, you're bullying me. Like we've been jiving with each other since day one, right? Even Brother D, Dennis Sperling, right? Even he got a video where he's like, Tim Dog came at us with, forget Compton. It's like, hey, stop. Like, who started it? Right? Right? Who started that? Who got Tim Dog to come out and be mad like that? Right? Like that's what y'all gotta be honest about. And it's not in the beef between Tupac and Biggie and Faith, that's not the culture. That's not culture. Y'all gotta stop blaming the culture for that. right? Tupac should not have been stomping on his murderer's head before he came back with the goons to spray him up. Period. Right? We knew that as soon as I seen the video of him stomping the bull, and then they took a picture of him, and I seen when the media took a picture of him and Suge was driving off, you could see the fear in Tupac's eye, like they got me, because he shouldn't have stomped on that bull, and he knew that they was coming back to retaliate that day, and East Coast ain't had nothing to do with that. But the media and all them, y'all let them blame us for that. That's what we talking about, right? We've been stop the violence since day one. Stop the violence. Stop the violence. 1, 2, 3. The crew was called BDP. And if you want to go to the tip top, stop the violence in hip hop. Why-oh.
What Mayor Johnson meant by law enforcement is a sickness, we asked him today.
The people who heard my statement, they know exactly what I meant and what I'm talking about. They're using this moment to politicize, to justify their own insecurities. I'm not going to stand for it, I'm not going to take it, and neither will the residents of this fine city.
Johnson explained that, quote, the addiction of jails and incarceration is one that we have to wean ourselves off of. This time leaving out a reference to law enforcement specifically.
When you just responded, though, you didn't loop in law enforcement this time. So did you not intend to use the
I said that law enforcement, here's what I've said, though. Law enforcement alone does not keep communities safe. Law enforcement agrees with me on that. How do you send police officers into communities when there's little access to affordable housing?
Next on deck.
I remember a time when I thought dumb things like this, similar. Not exactly like this. I did believe that policing need to be rethought of, reimagined. We need to come up with some new shit. We can't just keep doing the same thing. I mean, we're basically doing policing the same way we did it 100 years ago. And you can't improve the model at all? I mean, we don't listen to music the same way we used to listen to it 100 years ago. Why are we still policing the same way? Before we go any further, let me let you know the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. And I brought on actual, former detectives, law enforcement officers on this show and did 4 or 5-part series on this. Back in the 2000s, early 2017, something like that. There was a local cop, a cop from Baltimore. That's what it was. And we had a good conversation about that, and it was dope because we were looking at other ways to do it, and he didn't hate cops. You know what I'm saying? And this was way before the defund the police. This was before that. So understand what he's saying here, what Brandon's saying, but Brandon's gone he jumped the shark, he gone way too far, man. You know, people need law enforcement, if for no other reason, didn't have someone to call to come fill out the report. You know, people cannot be left to their own devices to just be out in the world without police. To just say policing is a sickness, I mean, that's just goofy. Law enforcement in jail, you know, we got a lot of things we need to fix, but as a mayor, you can't just say that because grandma needs someone to call and they ain't calling Brandon. Brandon ain't gonna show up if somebody break into my mama's house. Nah, someone carjacked my cousin, Brandon's not gonna show up. He ain't gonna do shit. Brandon got half the police force working for him. And I mean that literally. He has 150 detail wrapping around him, his wife, and his place of business and her place of business. 150 officers, Johnson. 150 officers. And that guy gonna tell you, he's gonna tell you that policing is a sickness. Well, you must be so sick, you must be on your deathbed, Brandon Johnson, because you're the sickest of the sick. What's the condition that you have? Imagine somebody doing that. Imagine somebody telling you that money is horrible, money's the root of all evil. Meanwhile, they're sitting on a couple mil. literally sitting on a couple mil, right under their seat. With a gold pinky, big rock diamond pinky ring on, in a house made of gold, telling you with servants, a masseuse, or somebody feeding them grapes for some strange reason, why they talk to you and say this on their podcast. Money's the root of all evil.
YouTube
Right.
TV may drop
Right.
your favorite channels.
And that's what they trying to say, black culture, right? It's that's not what I'm saying. When I say that money is the fifth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist, I'm saying no. God, love God. That's the first commandment. Love God. You're not supposed to love that mammon. You're supposed to love God. Right? You can't love both. You can't serve two masters, right? Ain't that's the actual word. Right? Love God. Y'all talking about that mammon all the time. That's what we talking about. When I'm saying FBA, and that's what Brandon Johnson is doing, he's trying to say that he's FBA. That's literally what he's saying right now. He's FBA. So it's like, are you black or brown? Right? Somebody asked me that, I'll be like, I'm brown. Right? And then it's like, oh, all right, well, where you from? Oh, no, I'm a foundational black American. Don't get it messed up. Right? My lineage predates 1526. The only reason why we use 1526 is to let you know that we've been fighting colonization since before 1492. 1526 was one of the first revolts against slavery. That's the historical lesson. That's what we're talking. Before we was 13 colonies, right? 13 colonies coming together to form the America in 1776. That's a whole nother thing. That's when we became a nation at, the United States of America. And then they kept adding on new states and buying, purchasing, and you know what I mean? Until we the 50 states that we are today. Plus a couple, annexes or what are they called? Provinces or, But, and Canada is our ally. They're right next door. Like, why would you want to be enemies with Canada? Why would you want to be enemies with Mexico? But y'all want to act like they're our enemies. Like that's what the Democrats is claiming that the Republicans is on. That you're trying to make Canada and Mexico our enemies. That's what Brandon Johnson is doing. I'm black and my lineage is like, that's why I spit on the ground with him. He's a hypocrite. He doesn't know that I've been sharing this. I've been sharing everybody else's video talking about him. And then now it's all right. Now it's my turn. All right, spit on the ground, right? He's a hypocrite. It's dude. All right, we the same age. Let's put these gloves on. Let's go to the gym, right? Oh, we have to solve it in violence. Shut up, bitch. I can't stand a bitch. Put the gloves on, yo. Right? Let's take it to the ring. Brandon Johnson. We the same age, yo. That's what I'm talking about. He's not a bully. He's a coward. He's not a bully. He's a coward. I can't stand a coward. But he want to act like he the leader. Let me go back to. I'm getting pissed off again. Getting pissed off. I might play bully when I come back. I need something to calm me down. I'll be right back. Some more Tim Black.
Hey, baby. Oh, yeah. Money is the root of all evil. Twerk it for me, baby. Just go ahead and twerk it for me. Oh. Make it rain, baby. Make it rain. Yeah, money's bad. Y'all don't need no money. Money don't make you happy. We would call that person the biggest hypocrite. We want to throw a pie in their face, hypocrite. We want to burn down their castle, hypocrite. Well, that's how I feel when I hear somebody like Brandon Johnson. But see, I got some black people, which ticks me off, man, that we had this problem. We got some black Americans that will see Brandon, and just because he's black, It's because he's a black man. They'll say I'm wrong to even say anything about it. Because somewhere in America, there's a white mayor who's doing white people bad. Won't you go talk about the white guy that's doing the white people bad? Well, first of all, my audience don't give a shit about that guy unless he did something to black people. You know, I can't do everybody's news for him. You know, there's other news channels. But I'm talking, are you saying I don't have a right to talk about this guy right here? This guy who has 150 police officers wrapping around him and his wife, protecting him and his family and his property from the same, from crime? He done had that opinion that cops don't do shit, that they don't prevent crime when they're around his ass. Nah, when they're around him, it's safe, it's smart. But when we say, you know, but then he'll come out and he'll say, you know, policing is a sickness. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What's bad is that we have people that can't see that. That is difficult for them to understand that part. They can see this whole segment and not get it. Not get it and not understand that this guy is a sellout to the highest degree. And he's a humongous hypocrite. Humongous hypocrite. One of the biggest hypocrites in politics is Brandon Johnson. This guy took money out of the budget. Instead of fighting back against the Biden administration and bucking the system, he cared more about himself than he cared about anybody else. Definitely not about the people in Chicago. This guy has bankrupted Chicago, funding immigrants who weren't living in Chicago 2 years ago. And when people get upset, people chastise him about it, he gets indignant like he's the victim. Like he's the victim. So, like, I don't know what else to say, you know. I come from a place where it's one thing when other people treat you bad, but we shouldn't treat ourselves that way. I mean, with the history of what America is, when other people treat us like shit, we're supposed to, that's upsetting. We should be upset about it. We should be twice as upset when it's somebody that we put in place, that we elected, that use us against us in order to get in power. And then they do the same things, if not worse. And then use language like, how I look like as a black man, stopping migrants from coming here. What I look like, that helping my brown brother. You see, he used that against you. See? Anyway, it is what it is. I just think we got to wake up all the way up. I mean, sometimes you think you're awake when you're not. You never had those situations. You be sound asleep, and you would have such a great dream, and you wake up in your dream, but you're not awake. That was you waking up in the dream. You're in another dream now. Well, that's what some people are, man. They're not really awake. They just still sleeping. They're in a different dream. And they think that Brandon Johnson means well. But when he decided that he was not going to buck the Democratic Party when it came to all those people coming into his city and turning his budget upside down to the point where schools were closing at a rapid rate, record-setting closure of schools. I'd like to know how many white American communities that would have took that. And I'm just saying, I mean, what I'm saying is no one would take that. But for some reason, they think black people are supposed to take it. That we're supposed to be okay with it. We're supposed to say, oh, well, I understand their pain. I know what they're going through. Now, we've already been through it, and we don't deserve to have to go through it again voluntarily. If you send them to Portland. Send them to Portland, Oregon. They didn't let no ends come in Portland, Oregon until the 30s. They couldn't make a room. Let them do it. Why they got to come to Chicago? Like basic things, basic arguments you can make. But he was concerned about Biden and his henchmen, his hitmen, lining him up.
And it's already 30 minutes. It's. I had to get that off my chest. I was very frustrated. You know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to do? I play a beat 'em up. So this is Dan the Man, right? So it begins again, right? And because that whole situation, and it relates to New York, because Eric Adams is actually actually the Democrats got rid of Eric Adams so that they could put an immigrant in his chair. Think about that. That's actual DEI. Right? It's a foundational black American like Eric Adams losing his job as the mayor because of the Democrats, right? So that they could put an immigrant in his place. That's what they've been doing. That's what the Democrats have been doing to foundational black Americans under Barack Obama, even George Bush. Under George Bush, Barack Obama, and I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all, and Joe Biden. And they was going to do the same thing with Kamala Harris, right? This is why I play this game right here. Damn the man, whoops. You know what I'm saying? Throw these ninjas, throw these stars. Oh, my bad, wrong button. There it is, right? So, and then when foundational black Americans get upset at black Republicans, right? For supporting Trump, he's just trying to make America great again. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the ones that turned your back on your own people in order to, because y'all put immigrants ahead of your own people that have a greater claim to this land, because we was here because our lineage was here when the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment was made specifically for us. All right? And now he wants to put brown people like Kamala Harris, right? Every time Kamala Harris says she black, spit on the ground. Every time Barack Obama say he black, spit on the ground. That's disrespectful for your mother, yo. You brown at most, right? Just keeping it 100. And then y'all want to act, well, you're the one, shut up. Right? I'm going to block you. You go ahead. They've been blocking me for the past, right? But I'm going to get my life together, because under Trump, I went to Disney World twice. I went to Hershey Park every week. I almost adopted 2 beautiful little young girls, right? Little children to be, right? But all that fell apart because it's break up the foundational black American family. That's been the Democrat Party's MO since day one. Your feelings. That's the truth. One God, our Father, all the time, hip-hop life. Hey, you gotta shut up. You need to take accountability for yourself. Voting Democrat again is not responsible. Right? Even speaking on it is ignorant. I don't know why y'all keep talking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my president, your president, Barack Obama, betrayed you. He's a coward. Al Sharpton is a coward. I'll rap to y'all later. One God, our Father, all the time. Hip-hop, life, love. One God is love. Hip-hop is life. Time is holy. Money is nothing more than that fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. Keep wasting y'all time voting for these Democrats. Stop hating black people for starting to recognize and understand the importance of being conservative, like my hip-hop culture. That's what I'm doing, right? Karis One is the one that said it best, right? Harriet Tubman, I put the truth to Sojourner. Other times I had to come as Nat Turner. They tried to burn me, lynch me, and starve me. So I had to come back as Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley. They tried to harm me. I used to be Malcolm X. Now I'm on the planet and I'm causing these devils stress. I'm kicking the metaphysical, spiritual. I'm trying to get with you, showing you are invincible. The Black Panther, that's the real answer for real. In my spiritual form, I'ma turn into Bobby Seale. Bobby's still with us. I pray for him every day. Today was my man Byron's birthday. I miss you, bro, and I love you. And Assata Shakur, right? On the wheels of steel, my spirit flies away and transforms into Kwame Ture. Oh yeah, that's what you say when you see a devil down. Oh yeah, that's what you say when you take a devil's crown. Oh yeah, stay alive. All things will change around. Oh yeah. What? Oh yeah.